So good afternoon to you all. It is my pleasure to be here. I'm especially delighted to be here with all of you because education was so important in my life growing up, and it remains so now that I have a daughter of my own. My late father was an educator. He was a math professor and also an activist for civil rights, higher education, and for services to the poor. He was one of the most powerful political leaders in Maryland before his death. He instilled in me and my siblings the importance of education, the importance of advocacy, and the need to be a champion for others. I took to heart many of my father's lessons, which is why I personally feel a special connection to everyone here today. Your commitment to students will leave an everlasting mark on their lives. As I was sitting in the back listening to the speakers, I recounted the teachers that have meant so much to me in my life, and I know that if you thought about it, you could think of one or two who you will never forget because of what they meant for you. You have a special, special responsibility, opportunity, and profession. You leave an everlasting mark on their lives, but also you leave an everlasting mark on the lives of their parents, community members, and our society in general. As an educator, you inspire, you support, and you also serve. But at the heart of all of it is advocacy. Whether you're on the front line as educators who experience firsthand both the triumphs and the challenges of the system, or whether you're behind the scenes as staff that's dealing with a different set of unique issues to manage, each of you plays a role that is connected to the development of all of our students. As mayor of the city of Baltimore, I am confronted with many factors that are impacting our society today. My city, like many urban cities across the country, is faced with social and economic challenges, as well as many health and public safety issues. Regardless of the challenges our citizens face, they deserve an equitable opportunity to benefit from a quality education system. In today's society, many educators and public servants wear multiple hats to meet the needs of our students. Because of this, we recognize that progress will only be achieved through intentional, strategic, and collaborative efforts. Specifically, among the entities and agencies that most frequently interact with our most vulnerable populations. As an elected official, I know the value of listening to the voices of our neighborhood leaders, our families, our businesses, our students, and those who support our communities. Their insights and observations help us understand greater what is happening on the ground. It is from their feedback, suggestions, and proposals that we work to improve the quality of life for the quality of life issues such as crime, violence management, health, and education. And I encourage you, if you are not already engaged, to reach out to your elected officials and your representatives in effective ways to promote progress and civic engagement. It can also assist in bringing stronger focus on your needs and the needs of those who you're teaching. However, you must also educate yourself and be well informed on issues. That's something that Dr. Johnson has taught me along the years. Don't open your mouth until you know what you're talking about, right? Y'all are sitting in the front row. You know I'm talking to. I'm not lying about your mother. Oh, Lord, I thought you were getting up. Woo. Familiarize yourself on the judicial and the legal processes of governing your local and your state municipality. Interestingly, As mayor of the city of Baltimore, I have limited authority on the Baltimore City Schools, as well as the Baltimore City Council. The state superintendent of schools leads the Maryland State Department of Education. So with guidance from the Maryland State Board of Education, they develop and implement standards and policies for education programs throughout Maryland's 24 local school systems. And although I have limited oversight of our schools, I have witnessed firsthand the success that can be achieved through local civic engagement. I want to share with you a story about a community-based citywide campaign called Transform Baltimore. Build schools, build neighborhoods. This campaign began like many grassroots efforts in conversations with students, with teachers and parents, who shared over and over again their dream to have school buildings that were safe, that were modern, and that could prepare our young people for the 21st century. Baltimore City is home to 47 of the 50 oldest school buildings in the state of Maryland. More than 4 out of 5 Baltimore school buildings are rated very poor and poor condition according to industry standards. The Transform Baltimore campaign was comprised of dozens of Baltimore's advocates. Their goal was to ensure that every city school building is fully rebuilt or renovated for the students, for the teachers, and for the neighborhoods that they serve in Baltimore City. The campaign called upon elected officials and decision makers at the city, state, and at the federal level to adopt and implement a funding plan to fully renovate and to rebuild our public schools in every area of the city within 10 years. Campaign group members were a constant presence, first at City Hall, then during the state legislative session as the financing oversight package for the school construction bill took shape. The supporters made telephone calls, they sent emails, they trekked to our state capitol. They publicly described conditions that are far inferior to those enjoyed by students in surrounding counties. The group's combined relationships with policymakers, the expertise on the issues, and the leadership development to bring unique pressure to bear for the students and communities of Baltimore was very effective. When the bill hit the Senate and House floors, it passed with overwhelming support. In 2013, the campaign won House Bill 860 during the legislative session. The bill is estimated to generate approximately $1 billion to renovate and rebuild up to 28 schools in Baltimore City. And the campaign is committed to stay active until more than 130 school buildings in the city are safe, are healthy, and supportive of 21st century education. The city government's portion of the funding is being generated largely from an increase in the bottle tax proposed by my administration. The plan is expected to boost not only the educational environment for Baltimore City students and educators, but it's also going to help our city prosper. New and renovated schools will help my city achieve a goal I set of adding 10,000 families to our population. New families and families who have lived in our city for generations want excellent quality schools for their children. They want to know that their children will not only be safe, but placed in buildings that are conducive to higher learning. I often said in these meetings, and Dr. Johnson can attest to this, I said, we cannot look at our students in the face and tell them that education is important and think that they are going to believe us when they can't see out of the windows, when they can't drink from the water fountains, when the ceiling tiles are leaking every time it rains. How can we impress upon them that we care anything about them or their education? We knew that we had to do better for Baltimore's young people. So these improvements will bring thousands of new construction and professional jobs to Maryland, with a significant portion of those jobs coming from the city. The workers being able to have opportunity from the city. And all of these things working together make Baltimore City stronger. All of this began with building relationships and engaging with diverse community stakeholders. And all of this is possible in every place, in every school jurisdiction across our country. I want to thank you for inviting me to share this story with you about the power of engagement, about the power that you possess as teachers and as leaders in your community. I hope this story will feed the passion that many of you have already to be advocates in your community. And I hope your efforts to build a stronger and safer and more productive education environment for your young people continue to reap rewards for your communities. Thank you so much.